Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, from onset, I reject this list. Number one, we have been elected to represent people of Kenya in this House. We have a democratic right to belong wherever we want to belong. Number three, this is a House that is guided by the rule of law and procedures. And as I've said earlier, there is no formal communication on the floor of the House to effect changes to the list that was there 1 week ago to House Business Committee. Mr. Speaker, it's not your position to discuss matters of political parties here. But I think as the head of this institution, you have a right to give guidance as far as political parties are concerned and guided by the rule of law. And I know, Mr. Speaker, when we made our way to State House, it's not by mistake. Yeah? We knew what we were doing. We know the consequences. But the law must be followed to the letter. This is my 4th month having been elected to the opposition side. And this is my 3rd term to serve in this House. I have even served in the House Business Committee before. The list that has been presented to this House this afternoon was doctored this afternoon without proper consultation. Mr. Speaker, as a person and as a leader, I am really tired of the forced marriage. I am tired of intimidation. I am tired of abuse by certain quarters of this side. And I'm not fearing anybody, Mr. Speaker. But what we really want is the law to be followed to the letter. We were in Azimio. We've been actually debated on this floor of the House that Jubilee contributed nothing to Azimio. Shame on you, those who are saying that. As Isiolo County, and I've kept quiet on this for a very long time, Isiolo County has a governor, a senator, women rep, all the members of parliament are from Jubilee Party. And we contributed to Azimio. Yeah? Since I was given actually the leadership position, there is abuse, there is intimidation, this is our seat we should take. You can take for all I care. Yeah? But take it. We have taken. You can take. But the law must be followed. And we will fight as Jubilee that our rightful share in this House must be given to us. Mr. Speaker, I know even the PSC position that was taken away from us as Jubilee, and we are the 3rd largest political party in this House. It was actually wrong. It was falsehood. It was intimidation. It was harassment. And that is how that position was taken away from us. And unfortunately, that day I was not here. But I'm saying, enough is enough. What happened actually to Jubilee has never happened for the last how many years? We are ready to walk that path. But Me personally, as Fatuma Dulo, elected by Isiolo people, for the third term I'm serving in this house, I will not allow intimidation, I will not allow abuse, I will not allow harassment, I will not allow, name calling, Mr. Speaker. And I'm requesting you as the head of this institution, we have a right as Jubilee. We must be given our rightful share as Jubilee members in this house. We must get a ruling where Jubilee should sit, where Jubilee should be actually positioned. Because Professor Kamar is a very senior member of this house. In the last Senate, she was a deputy speaker. For her to be nominated, it doesn't mean she's a lesser member of this house. There was a reason why she didn't go for elective position. But today, it's embarrassing because Senator Kamar went to State House. That's the reason why she's removed from House business. It's wrong to have a double speak. When the president went to Luo Nyanza, the people who are dancing and celebrating and calling all the praises to none other than William Samoei Ruto are ODM members. And they have taken goodies from this government. We are being told, oh, that was the visit to Luo Nyanza. Which visit is better than the other? If they are going to discipline those who went to State House, they should start with the governors of Luo Nyanza. Mr. Speaker, I'm winding up. There's no need of point of order, Senator Osotsi. Those who are dying for the whip position, you can prepare yourself and take that position. Even the committee members. But I am appealing to you, as an elected member of this house, and having served my third term in this house, I would expect you, Mr. Speaker, sir, to give a ruling that Jubilee should be recognized in this house as a political party that has the third largest number in this house. Having said that, we don't regret to have walked to State House. We will walk even right now if we want. But thank you very much. We have democracy. We are elected by people. Sometimes we have to look at the people who elected us, not the matters of political parties. We have experienced where nominated walked out of political parties in the last Senate. Nothing happened to them. They served their full term. I can walk out of this house to be just a member who is representing Isiolo County, and I'm so proud of that. I am elected as a second term member of the Senate, having contested with more than 7 men in my county. I'm so proud. So thank you very much. I oppose this list. It's not properly represented. You can take even that whip position, I don't care. But the rule of law must be applied. You are a legal mind in this house, and that should be done properly. I thank you.
What is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I hope you have listened to the damning revelations by the Minority Whip Senator Fatuma Dulo. The clarification I am seeking, not a point of order, Mr. Speaker, is that Senator Dulo has stated that in his own record and answered that the list that we are discussing was doctored. For neatness and integrity of the House processes, Mr. Speaker, can you give guidance on how we should proceed if it is true, as Senator Dulo has alleged, because of his political affiliation or working with the president and going to the State House, which anyway, State House is a public office, Mr. Speaker. What should we do in such situation where a member who sits in a very leadership position comes and reveals those statements, Mr. Speaker, as ordinary members of the House, we take it seriously. Just the way if Senate Minority Leader today or Senate Majority Whip would make such statement, Mr. Speaker, and say the list was doctored. And therefore, for neatness of the process, Mr. Speaker, I request that you give us proper direction so that when we put SBC in office, we should have absolute faith. And I want to urge my colleagues that want to bring politics of rallies, they should allow Senator Dulo be. This is not the first time we were intimidated in Jubilee when Uhuru Kenyatta and others were there. Now Senator Dulo is working with the president, and State House is where everybody can go, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, if people want to work with President William Ruto, they can work. And Mr. Speaker, surprisingly, Azimio One Kenya Alliance leader, Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka have told governors to work with the government of the day and William Ruto. What is wrong for Senate Minority Whip, Mr. Speaker? Senator Dulo working with President William Ruto, Mr. Speaker. What is wrong? What is so special that she's being frustrated, Mr. Speaker? And I want to tell Senator Dulo, don't be intimidated. It looks like Azimio One Kenya lands are looking down upon women leadership, and we shall not allow it to happen.
Senators, if a senator is on a point of order, you don't have to shout on a point of order, because I won't yield. The standing orders are very clear. So, and that's why I'm insisting, why don't we read our standing orders so that we can have a neat engagement in the Senate. Now, allow me to address myself to the matter raised by the Honorable Senator Fatuma Dulo. Honorable Senators, allow me to invite you to Standing Order 190, where the Senate Business Committee is constituted. Now, the Senate Business Committee comprises of the Speaker, the Majority Leader, the Minority Leader, the Majority Whip, the Minority Whip, and 7 other members. Now, the 7 other members, it says who shall be nominated by the parliamentary parties. And therefore, it's assumed that when the list comes to the Senate, the political parties have sat and nominated. What is left to the Senate is merely to approve or to reject the whole committee. Now, Honorable Senator Dulo, I'm not aware of any dispute between you within the Azimio. If indeed there is a dispute, kindly bring it forward. And at that point, I'll be able to make a ruling. As it is now, I'm not seized of any dispute. I've not received any letter to the contrary. So kindly be guided that if you feel aggrieved, and indeed there's a dispute between Jubilee and the other constituent parties of Azimio, do write the relevant correspondence to me, and for sure I'll be able to make a ruling in that regard. But as it is now, it is assumed in the absence of any registered dispute that indeed the list that has been tabled before, coming from the minority and coming from the majority, must have gone through the processes of nomination. So then the Senate cannot be dragged unless moved by a dispute within your coalition. Let's proceed that one.